Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Just thought I would pop in and talk to you about what's going on in the planets and stars. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for May 19th through 21st. I'm Adrienne Elise. So, come out of this really intense Scorpio full moon. We're still feeling this full moon energy. And Scorpio has a way of extracting out, especially with full moon, because it's opposite where the sun is and Mercury. So this Scorpio full moon was extracting out the shadow of our identity, of who we've been told we were, or things we've experienced that we've allowed to define us. And these things are being shown to us. And so it's kind of an intense time of revealing and emotions and things coming to the surface. Now we're coming off of that energy, but what's happening is that Mars is coming into a square with Chiron. So Mars is in Cancer now, and Mars wants to go and make things happen. It's our warrior self. It's our male part of ourselves. And this energy is in Cancer, which is about nurturing. Now, this is where the North Node is. The North Node of the moon is how are we going to get to where we're going? And so we're having huge messages right now, and actually a whole opportunity to completely shift our vibrational reality with an infusion over these next months of this energy of the North Node of Cancer. And so Mars might be speaking to this, like, kind of like, let's get on with it. Let's get on with this shift that we absolutely have to make in order to move forward, which is around allowing ourselves to receive and connecting home and feeling safe here on planet Earth. And so that's a really powerful energy. And there is evidence of this infusion of the Great Mother energy, of this kind of connecting back, and a permission to connect back into the earth in a way that we maybe haven't ever felt. And this infusion of this Great Mother divine feminine energy that can heart healing, bringing us back to what really matters, and nurturing an awakening, right? So many of us have been going through the awakening process. It's been rather dramatic and traumatic, right? And it's like squeezing and pushing and pulling. And what this energy that's trying to infuse the planet over these next months is about a gentler, kinder, nurturing our way into a whole new vibrational reality. But right now we're feeling Mars coming into this square. Now we're going to feel this for this next week or so. It's not exact until the 23rd. And so we're going to be feeling it pretty much to the end of the month. And so we're just moving into this energy right now, and Mars in Cancer squaring up with Chiron in Aries. Now, Chiron is our deepest wounds. And in Aries, we're talking about wounds of the self, wounds of the personality, wounds of the ego, but also wounds around whether or not it's okay to be who we really are. Is it okay for you? It's about existence, and do you have a right to exist as who you are? So this is on the table for everybody right now with Mars coming in square to Chiron. It's kind of like, oh, wait, Mars is in Chiron, but we haven't had like huge aspects to it that have been really this year yet, that have been really highlighting that energy. And now we're feeling it, and it's flavoring all of the other astrology that's going on. It's making that Scorpio full moon about where have you not been able to be yourself, and it's making this Mercury conjunct the sun that's happening in Taurus. Now, Venus is still in Taurus, Mercury is still in Taurus, Sun is still in Taurus, and Taurus has this energy of like, do I have permission? Do I have support? Do I have what I need to be who I really am? And is it okay for me? Do I deserve it? And so that energy is just really coming up. And so it's making, so that Mars square Chiron is making that whole picture about whether or not we can be who we really are and survive. right? So a lot of light workers, indigo souls have gotten a lot of programming over their lifetimes. It's like, sure, you can be on the planet and you can hide who you are, deny your light, deny your healing, just like get along with all the other humans and hide out and pretend that you are just the regular person, right? And it's like, okay, good luck with that one. But so it's like, where have we compromised ourselves? And we all feel this, right? There's some area of our life, even if we totally come out of the closet with who we really are, there's some area of our life where we're still hiding. And this is coming up, this uncomfortable feeling of all of this programming, that it might not be safe for you to be who you really are here on the planet. You might not be welcome as who you really are. But it's interesting because we're shaking out these programs, and clearing this slate. And it's kind of like, that is meaningless, actually. It has no bearing. Like, can you let all of the persecution that may have happened to you over all these lifetimes have no bearing on who you are in your expression? I've been talking about with this Taurus energy, the energy of the plant world speaking to us with the innate intelligence. And each plant is here to fully express and fully live and fully receive whatever they need to receive to do that. And, we can learn something from that. But we've all compensated, right? And adjusted and adapted to survive in our world. And for humans, and especially light worker humans, evolved indigo souls that are on the path, this means pretending that you're something different than who you are. So this is really coming up right now, very uncomfortable feelings of where you've given your power away in this way, because we're moving into this just in a couple of days. On the 20th is when Saturn comes into that 2-degree placement with Pluto. And it's just like this really intense reality check for us. Like, whose life are you living, right? Like, where are you giving your power away? And it's time to take it back. So in this case, we're examining where we've pretended to be something different in order to survive. And that's coming through everything right now. So Mercury, this is the first conjunction with the sun. They come together. We're feeling that today. In the next couple of days is when that's exact. And that's really profound, because the sun or Mercury hung out with the sun in February, then went through that crazy retrograde, and now is coming back for the first time. So we're just starting to get some understanding on the shift of our energetic, our conception of our reality and our identity, who we think we are, right? So that Mercury retrograde, second half of Pisces, being like, you're not your past anymore. But then who are you, right? Because maybe for so long you've identified with these stories of who you are based on what's happened to you lifetime after lifetime, in the patterns and the ruts. And now it's like, okay, there's really good energy right now to nurture ourselves into a new chapter. But then who are you? Who are you without your trauma? Who are you without those stories? And that's what's up for review. So it's really interesting, because Mercury and the sun are moving together over these next few days from Taurus into Gemini. And so it's highlighting this cusp. And cusps energies are really important, because you're looking at the transition. It's these archetypal signs, these 12 signs that are energetic frequencies and vibrations, right? And they're in a pattern. And it's really interesting because they're next to each other, but they're very different. And so when you shift from one to the next, there's a really interesting energy there. And so with Taurus, we're looking at our worth and our resources and our permission for worth and our inner worth, our outer worth, our comforts in this lifetime. And then Gemini is our communication, where we're interacting with the world, right? So we're coming into form, and now it's time to interact with the world. And so it's really interesting, because it's about this Taurus having what you need to exist and feel comfortable and deserve and all that. And then this energy of expressing, so this is a trap that a lot of indigo souls and light worker soul starseeds get stuck into, where they will have this complete inner world of maybe an amazing experience, right? Of synchronicities and connection, and maybe you are talking to the plants or the animals, or you're talking to people of past, or you're having this rich, not always copacetic necessarily, but a totally rich inner world that you do not share on any level with the people around you. And it's kind of like you live in these two different realities. You lived in the manifested reality, and then you live in your own world. Now, this is really powerful because this is all lining up with Neptune. We're going to be feeling this to the end of the month too. Neptune in trine to the North Node in Cancer. So Neptune in Pisces, that's our dreams, our visions, also our delusions, but our dreaming and our ability to connect to source and to that oneness. And so we are being asked, this is very harmonious energy with the North Node, and we're being asked to dream a new, more nurturing dream for this reality. So there's a lot of energy right now. We're into the water energy, right? Which is kind of a feeling like you can feel like it's a little bit hard to act or figure out where you're going or what you're doing. But if you can just be like, hey, that's because there's all this water energy, and I need to just chill and meditate and let myself stare at the wall or space out or whatever. As much time you can give for yourself of that is great, because that's when we have the opportunity to reset our vibrational frequency. And so we're getting a huge, the energies are very supportive of that right now. Of, can you let yourself just rest for a minute, come out of the stories and imagine something different? That's what we're being asked to do with that Neptune trine the North Node. And so Mercury has also been in a sextile with the North Node, and that's a very creative energy of creative solutions, and it's bringing us all back around this new identity, this new vibration, this new conceptual reality, this new world that better fits who we really are. And that comes right back to this hammer time of Saturn conjunct Pluto. Now, Pluto is the destroyer, right? Pluto is transformation. It's the ruler of Scorpio. It's that underworld. It's like, if you can survive the underworld and the shadow, then it's almost like it's this transformational energy, because you're surviving the underworld and taking what's left, right? So it's kind of like washing away everything from the past or from the subconscious that is no longer useful. Cleaning house. Okay, so cleaning psychic house, Pluto. And then we've got Saturn, which is our manifested reality. And it's interesting because a lot of the messages that came through in this whole last decade of that Pluto-Uranus square was like, Pluto is the destroyer, Uranus is the revolutionary, and Pluto is in Capricorn, the structures of our lives, and Uranus is trying to bring in this new energy, and they were in square to each other. And so that was like, okay, there is the square energy is like, you're up against the wall, you're at the corner, you have to make a change, right? So it's like we have to change our physical manifested reality to fit the truth of more of us energetically. And it's like, but the planets coming together like that epic joining of slow moving revolution, generational planets. You don't feel it right away when it happens, you feel it later. And this is a clue to us. Pluto and Saturn coming together in Capricorn, and Saturn at home in Capricorn. Saturn is the laws and the rules of this world and the manifested reality. It's also duty and work and karma, but also dharma, our true path. And this is all coming together with Pluto, the destroyer. So it's like about breaking down our manifested reality and our manifested thought forms, and the whole fabric of this reality is trying to be transformed. And this is a hint, of what's coming with the 2020 astrology when Jupiter joins the party. But we're getting a strong energy of that right now. So you're going to start to see what this might look like in your life and I think it's the 20th to the 25th, where these planets are at 2 degrees apart. And we're just feeling this tension of where has our world not been able to adjust. It's like stuck, it's stubborn, right? The physical world is like, nope, I'm a mountain, I'm not moving. These are the constructs of our conditioning, like this is the way it's always been. This is the way we just do things, right? And so those worn out structures are being challenged. But it's interesting because they're being challenged by the law. And, you know, Saturn represents the law of this physical world, but also the joining of the ideal of the law of the spiritual world, joining the physical world. So there's an energy of like integrity and purity in justice, bringing true justice to the planet. And so we're in this like just crazy thing. But right now, the justice for all of us is about, can you be who you really are? Where are you limiting yourself, hiding yourself, compromising yourself, not speaking your truth? So there's a lot of energy. It's like gradual, it's gentle, but there's some good energy with this Gemini energy coming up that's a little bit more for you as an intuitive, as an empath, that inner world that you share. There might be a little bit more energy of support in sharing your inner realms with people in a way that wouldn't be unexpected. All of a sudden, people kind of asking for that, that you wouldn't expect. And so there will be opportunities to share more of the truth of who you are in your inner world. And really, it's like for these souls that have been hiding all this inside, you know, it's like you are being called right now. And this is this Mars square Chiron. It's like you are being called to be who you really are. Enough hiding, right? Like we know what the world really needs. And it's not you playing small anymore. The world needs you being true to who you really are, sharing this. Easier said than done, I know, but you know, this is what we're working towards, right? Is that we need this world to be more in alignment with the truth of who we are. And what's coming up with this North Node in Cancer energy is this Gaia codes, the original patterns of the Earth. The Earth is this beautiful picture for us of an constantly regenerative, transformational, giving energy, the life force energy of the universe, the divine feminine manifested. And it's this beautiful image of this. And yet we're disconnected from the earth. We're waiting for the earth to, you know, have a catastrophe. We're just kind of we don't have ground under our feet. Maybe that feeling is coming because the earth is going through her upgrade and changes and new vibrational energies. And we need to get back into connection and communication so that we can allow that to happen and let our psyche and our psychology, our whole energy, our emotional bodies reset to these Gaia codes, to the promise of Earth, to the future of Earth, that's the potential of Earth that's hidden in the kernel of the original Earth, these Gaia codes in like the most ancient waters and the most hidden places on our planet. Like these codes exist. They're also within us once we remember and become awakened to them and get on the page with the truth of who our planet is. Our planet isn't dirty and shameful and guilt-ridden. That's us. We've laid that on her. You know, our planet is continually regenerative and giving and healing and loving and receptive and just so much to teach us. And so there's just a sweet energy with this Neptune trine the North Node through the end of the month, as well as Mars square Chiron, right? We need to dream a new nurturing dreams. That means nurturing ourselves into the truth, being able to communicate the truth of who we are in the world, feel safe as who we are, and come out and shine our light here because it's time and the world needs it. And the world needs that truth. And we have a massive adjustment that needs to happen in what's happening on the planet and the structures of our conceptual reality and our programming that's got to break down. And but for you, that means breaking down to the real you and being able to finally fully express the truth of who you are. So it's quite a journey. And thank you for keeping up with me on it. And I look forward to being in touch in the next few days, check in on these energies with you. So have a wonderful time of hopefully dreaming this new nurturing dream and being who you really are in this life, and then examining these concepts as they come up over these next few days. So I look forward to till next time. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.